Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. I am Colin.
I'm Corbius.
All right, whatever. And last week we talked about Sony's great hit film called Madam Web. But before there was the disaster that is Madam Web, they released another disaster back in 2022 called Morbius. Now, I guess for context, I watched Madam Web first. I watched this yesterday as of this recording. And obviously, this movie has all the memes that came with it. It was a critical disaster, a box office flop. Sony thought they could capitalize on the memes at the time, so they re-released it back in theaters, and it bombed again. So this movie,
That's I think that's how you know like how incompetent people like I never understood what people think, oh, you're like a high level executive, you must be very competent at your job. Clearly not, because people could not tell that they're being made fun of. It
yeah,
wasn't good to have all those memes about your movie.
it wasn't even like subtle, making fun of you to your face. It was just loud and proud. And they re-released the film. Like I said, it bombed again. So this film has the distinction of being released twice and failing twice. It is honestly incredible how those idiots at Sony, they never cease to like amaze anybody. They always have something up their sleeve.
When they
So,
go low, they can always go lower.
yeah, I mean, this movie has a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.2 out of 10 IMDb, and but I don't know how many of those are joke reviews, let's be honest, and a 35% on Metacritic. So, it is not a good movie. It did not get good reviews, but if there's any silver lining, Craig, it got better reviews than Madam Web, just barely. So there's that. But let's talk about Morbius.
Yay.
I think since for my first viewing and seeing all the reviews that have transpired for these past 2 years, Craig, I thought it would be a lot worse than what I watched. It's not a good movie by any means. I didn't hate it. I wasn't annoyed by it. Like Madam Web, I was bored the whole time and I hated it. This one is bad, but it tried with question marks. It
I know what you're getting at. Because to me, it was basically the same problem as Madam Web. It was just very boring. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the Room level of bad where, like, all these memes, I thought it was going to be terrible like The Room, and it really was just boring. Like, it wasn't worth my time watching.
I was more engaged in this one than Madam Web. This one at least felt like it flowed better. And which isn't really saying much when Madam Web was just a disaster.
I mean, I feel like you're grasping at straws. Like, you're trying to compliment it.
Well,
This is
no,
the
no.
best we can come up with.
Yeah, it is bad. It is not a good movie. I think everybody's saying this, so what we're going to say isn't new. It feels dated. I think also what was going through my mind and it felt similar to X-Men Origins, especially the beginning, where you have the young people, the young kids, young Morbius and young Milo, whose real name is like Michelin or whatever.
Michelin Man.
Oh, Lucian. It's Lucian. And it felt very reminiscent of X-Men Origins Wolverine opening, where they're like, "Oh, we're together forever, man. It's just you and I. It's us against the world." And when I was watching this, I was like, "Ooh, first things first. The dialogue is clunky. It's not good." And I think one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in this movie was the stupid riffing. I'm using air quotes here between Jared Leto when he's like a paraplegic with Milo in the streets when they're adults in the streets of New York. Their riffing was so bad. Them like trying to talk and be funny and go off each other.
Well, of course it's gonna be weird. One guy has like a cult on an island, and the other guy is I have no idea about the other actor, but probably is more normal.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what kind of riffing they could really do.
Jared Leto is not a good actor. At least, I mean, to be fair, I have not seen a lot of his movies or the movies he's in. So I'm gonna throw that disclaimer out there. Maybe he's a really good actor. He just is he's a weirdo. I think he's a weirdo. I think a lot of people agree with that. And
Well, we seen movies. We saw American Psycho where he gets
yeah,
brutally killed. And we
yeah.
saw
Or he was a
Suicide
normal
Squad.
guy. He's a normal guy in that movie. The Suicide Squad, I don't know what that was. Oh, no, not the Suicide Squad, excuse me. Suicide Squad. I don't know what that was. That was just a disaster. he's one of those kind of method actors where he gets really into the roles, and it's on that line where it's, are you really being a method actor? Or are you just being a weirdo to people on set, or you don't break character?
Well, yeah, I read, yeah, because I knew about his history with the first Suicide
Suicide
Squad,
Squad. Yeah, he's just
how
a
he was like
weirdo.
harassing his co-stars. And this one he said, I didn't have to do much method acting because Morbius felt closer to me, so I didn't really have to try as hard. So he was
Now,
not harassing his co-stars from what it sounded like.
wow, he's doing the bare minimum. Good for him. But yeah, he came across in this movie as he I don't know, he just didn't seem like he cared, but at the same time he seemed like he did care. Like his acting was uninspired. He was plain as a white wall. His acting, I thought he was pretty bad. And
Yeah, I
everything just
mean,
felt
nothing was really
stock.
great.
Yeah, everything just
Yeah.
felt stock, like an AI generated this script. And it's just like the bare minimum components of a script. And dare I say, Craig, this script is better than the Madam Web script. Dare I say that?
I don't think anyone cares enough to argue with you about this.
Yeah. But I think also a problem with these Sony movies, and this is something we touched upon for Madam Web, it's when you have like the main hero, they always do where the villain's identical to the main hero. And it's just the most uninspired, same nonsense we get. Like Madam Web, Spider Guy running around, Venom, two Venom movies. He fights another symbiote, same thing. And in this one,
Who's
he
he
fight
fighting? Who's he fighting in Venom 3? I don't.
probably another symbiote. I don't know.
You're probably right. I'm just curious as they haven't really announced it yet.
Well, the movie's coming out this year, and in Morbius, he fights a vampire. Like, go figure. Could they not do anything better? Where, like, I know Morbius isn't a household name. I only know him from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, where
I need plasma.
he's like a
Because
blue
they couldn't.
vampire or something in that show.
Yeah, I don't think they could say he was drinking blood, so he goes, "I need my plasma."
Yeah, I mean
I think
that
he
was the
was
one where
sucking
Spider-Man
blood from
couldn't
his
punch.
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like he couldn't, actually bite down on somebody.
yeah. Venom looked like an alligator in that movie, or not that movie, that show. Like his eyes are all weird.
Yeah, it's like really big jaw.
I
Yeah, that's
thought,
really where
yeah,
I
you
know
go.
him from because I know he was more. I know he started out as a Spider-Man villain, but I don't really care for him as a Spider-Man villain. Like, I don't care that he's basically Dracula running around. They turn him to an anti-hero, and now he fights supernatural people with like Blade and Werewolf by Night and Doctor Strange, which I feel at least makes more sense if you're ripping off up like a monster. You kind of keep it in that area.
So, Craig, answer me, because I don't know much about Morbius, and I have a feeling a lot of people don't know much about Morbius. But he's a Spider-Man villain, correct? Or is he like an anti-hero?
So he started out as a Spider-Man villain, then he became an anti-hero.
What is the appeal of Morbius? Why do people care about him?
See, I was wondering the same thing because he's just a Dracula knockoff, and there is Dracula in the Marvel universe, so I don't really know what the appeal is.
What is the demand, Craig, of Morbius? Is he even a Sinister Six member? Because I know we'll
No,
talk about later their
no,
desperate
of course not.
attempt. Okay. Yeah, I mean this movie they try to make him a hero, and he does he do hero things? No, not really. Because I was thinking there's that one scene where Milo's at the bar, and then he gets into that confrontation with those guys, and he waits for them to go outside to kill them, drain their blood. Oh, this one thing that was going through my mind is this is a pretty violent PG-13 movie. Seemed like they
Oh, it
pushed
was
the envelope.
PG-13?
Yeah, it was PG-13. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really care to look up the rate. Well, also like with all these streaming movies, like I don't even know the ratings of them stuff anymore, unless you know for a fact. Like I just, we're at that age where it doesn't even matter anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm looking on the Wikipedia, Craig. Initial creation as a villain for Morbius.
Yeah, he was, and then he was again. He's just a dumb Dracula knockoff.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even know what else to say. Like this movie is just like I said, the bare minimum requirements to get a movie made. The
It's
effects weren't.
basically an AI movie before AI, which not that it's a recent thing, but like basically an AI movie before AI was around
I
to rate
mean,
movies for you.
the action wasn't terrible. Like there was some set pieces they had. They had the set piece on the boat where Morbius was trying to conduct those experiments, and then he sticks it in his spine, or the doctor sticks it in his spine. Then you have him fighting Milo the first time, and then there's the second time where he unleashes all the bats. And I was thinking, like, how many bats are in New York City? Like, what is this? But, hmm.
Well, I for like the fight scenes for me, it was just not a great visual clarity. I mean, there's a reason. I think there's a reason why they made him wear orange, not just because he was in prison, but because if he wore anything other than a bright color, you couldn't tell who was who. Because I think that was the problem in the final fight scene. You had trouble telling who was who.
Yeah, I mean, I think they gave Morbius a purple, like, purple accents when he is flying around doing his vampire stuff. I did notice that. He was more purple and Milo was, like, black or red. I don't remember.
It was just again not great visual clarity, and they're running around at night too, so like you can't even see who's punching who.
And the thing also is there's, like, these mist elements around them when they're fighting each other. So there's just like essentially vapor trails all over the
Yeah,
place
that
when they're
that was
fighting
so
each other.
weird. Also, I wanted to say too, like for the final fight when he just summons the Bat Army. uh, I'm not an expert movie maker, but I feel that for a villain, I know we've been complaining about them fighting basically clones of each other, but it makes even less sense when, if at least if they're similar, there should at least be some sort of stakes, like maybe make the villain a little bit stronger, or at the very least he has to save his love interest, which
Or
he doesn't
yeah,
save her.
you continue, then I'll add something too.
So basically, they get to the final fight, she dies, and what's the point of him even fighting him anymore? Go, you're bad. I can't have you kill people anymore. It's not really that great of a motivation to keep going on. So
I was
he just
yeah.
summons the stupid bad army and defeats him. Like, whatever. That's pretty anticlimactic.
I feel like if they're gonna do that, and since they're essentially clones of each other, if he had to do like a final move to beat him, it would have to be something that also affects him too. Like he has to think about, well, if I do this, I could die or something. There has to be
Yeah, some sort of
some kind of stake there.
stakes.
Yeah, because I was thinking that too, where it's like, well, they're clones of each other, and then how come Milo can control the swarm of bats? He has the same things in him. Like that didn't make any sense at all. But yeah, there should have been like a finishing thing that he had to think about for a second, saying like, well, I could die doing this, but I have to put him down.
Because I go back to
Kind of like Iron
Ant-Man
Man,
where,
the original Iron Man movie,
yeah,
where he was
like
in the
those two.
crossfire of that thing that killed Obadiah, but almost killed Tony.
Yeah, or I even think of the original Ant-Man because Tony's suit was more powerful, but he was at least he was running on low power. But in Ant-Man, he had the older suit, the less advanced one, so he was similar powers, but he's got the stronger suit. So Ant-Man really has to use his head as opposed to just out muscling him.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to do something where Milo was greater on the power scale, and
Yeah,
he.
otherwise it's just again just these two people you can't see punching each other, which you can't even see that. These stupid vapor trails covering the screen at night.
I don't even want to say he's evil per se. Like he was doing bad things, but all he really wanted was just to be normal and walk around and dance, apparently.
Oh yeah, that was probably the only thing I was kind of laughing at. Why is that not the meme? Like we go to the stupid Morbin time, but like him dancing. That was
Yeah.
funnier.
Him dancing in his apartment.
Yeah, just putting on a shirt without having like use crutches.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, he wasn't really a villain. He was
Well, I
just,
think too, like you understand like why he's upset. Like I don't want to be walking around with crutches. Like I could drop dead any moment.
I have this rare blood disease. Again, these Sony movies with, like, blood being a plot point. The Amazing Spider Man.
I almost wonder, are these like reused scripts from 2014 when they were trying to have their Sinister Six movie and like, build out the Spider-Verse and all that stuff? Are these just reused scripts from, I know it's 10 years ago now, but at the time. Maybe it was like
Probably.
what, 6 years ago when it was
Well, I
filmed.
saw. I quickly saw this movie said it was announced in 2017, I believe. So
Right.
yeah, they've been trying
It's
to
sitting
make
in
this
this
for a
gym for a
while.
while.
Yeah, went through a lot of directors, and they brought in Jared Leto. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a good movie, but the thing is, it's like again, I'm not defending it. I just think it wasn't as bad as the meme said or people said. Like the people who overreact and are behind a green screen for channels and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the worst thing I've ever seen." It's not that. It's really
Again, to me, it's the worst kind of bad where there's nothing to really talk
yeah.
about. It's just boring, not done well.
I mean, like you could make an argument where The Room is just like more annoying than this. Because like
But the room's also funny because you got Tommy Wiseau's horrible accent. I think he's from America too. It's like his weird way of talking, his weird delivery. This is too well done where you don't even have that.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
I mean, I haven't seen Ghost Rider 2 in a while. Like, I don't know how this holds up to Ghost Rider 2.
But again, that's another movie where
It has
it's
Nick
bad,
Cage,
but
yeah.
it's forgettable. So there's not that no one talks about it. It's not like no one's gonna. I mean, besides the memes, no one's really gonna be thinking about this down the line.
That's true. I wonder how this movie would have done if it came out like 10 years ago, like in 2012. Well, 10 years from when it was released. Because like the memes wouldn't have like ripped it apart where Sony would be dumb enough to put it back in the theater. I think it would have been like an Electra level where it just like disappears.
Yeah, it's sort of been like a bomb, but I don't think it would
Yeah, the
have gotten
memes are like
released
keeping it
twice.
alive unintentionally for all the wrong reasons.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Because again, this is just I've actually seen this twice, and I'm still trying to remember stuff I've seen.
Oh, I guess one thing from all the trailers, I thought Tyrese Gibson of the Fast and Furious alumni.
Fame,
Glad to see he's doing great.
infamy.
But I thought he was going to be in the movie a lot more, honestly.
Well, I said, yeah, because we always check the Wikipedia after, and I saw that he's apparently had like a weapon, like his arm was a gun, and all of his scenes were cut. I'm
Oh,
like, where's
really?
this coming from?
I saw he had a scar on his neck. I thought they were going to touch upon that, and they never did. Because there's just like this dude running around with a giant scar, and there are clever ways to introducing that or giving backstory to that if it's important. Because obviously, some makeup crew had to apply that to Tyrese Gibson's face, which could have taken 40 minutes to an hour. So I was curious what that was, and of course, the movie never touched
Don't
upon
worry,
it.
he'll appear in another movie, like
So
because we're all going to want to see him again.
is he an actual character, or is he just like CIA man? What is
I,
he?
I can't imagine he's an actual character.
All right, we gotta look at Wikipedia. Let's see. Simon Stroud is a fictional character appearing in American comic books published by Marvel. The character first appeared in Creatures on the Loose, 1974, a mercenary trade by the CIA. Stroud has worked alongside Spider-Man and Black Widow and has gone after Man-Wolf and Morbius. So he is a real character.
Well, I am wrong. I'm also like not wrong just because
Oh, the
they.
cybernetic arm?
Well, no, it was more of like they're pulling like the bottom of the barrel character no one ever heard of.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone has
Like
heard
he
of
appeared
Simon
like five
Stroud.
issues.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever heard of this guy. I had no idea he had a cybernetic arm. That was never touched upon.
Well, because I remember when I checked the Wikipedia, I'm like, did I miss something? Like I know I wasn't paying the fully attention. Like, did I miss something? Like, where's this coming from?
Oh yeah, it says it right here for like Tyrese Gibson, where it says while Gibson describes Stroud as a superhero with a high-tech weapons great arm, in the film all scenes featuring the arm were cut. Gibson signed a three-picture deal when he joined the film. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
You didn't even want to come back? Like this whole cinematic universe is like box office poison.
I mean, if they're that desperate for money, I would do it too, honestly. He knows
Well, I guess,
the
but
Fast and Furious is ending at
true,
some point.
true. at some point. Or they always say, "Oh, this is the last one." They made tons of money, so they keep coming back.
Yeah, I had no idea about the arm, and then they cut it. It was honestly probably for the better.
Yeah, keep the runtime shorter.
Yeah, because this movie is 104 minutes long. Madam Web felt so much longer than this. Yeah, Madam Web was 116 minutes. Yeah,
I
I
also
mean,
wanted to add that I kind
yes.
of chuckled when he learned how to fly.
Yes, and I want to mention too, Jared Leto was doing those stupid grunts he did as the Joker, like the ah. That's all I was thinking about was those grunts.
Because he's just like his Milo's approaching him, and he just for some reason like let me jump in front of a train and test my ability to fly. Just
Yeah,
imagine he
you
fell
know
on
what?
his
That was such a
face.
weird scene where they didn't really want to fight each other. They're kind of just like tossing each other around in the subway, and then yeah, he runs away, waits for Milo to catch up, and then jumps in front of a subway train and flies.
I just thought that was, just imagine like this is your first time trying to fly. You just like fall on your face and you
He
get
gets run
run over.
over.
He falls on the third rail,
he
gets
just
electrocuted.
he just dies. He gets split in half.
I wish I could do a cut of the movie where because everything's fine up until then. He just dies.
Could you imagine, Craig? Like he dies. Let's say that happens 40 minutes in the movie, and then the rest of the movie for the 100-minute runtime is just black. It's just like a black screen.
Oh, that'd have been so much better because at least. Oh man. Ooh.
God, you're losing it.
Guys, this movie's so boring. Like, there's nothing memorable about it. Like, just having him drop dead.
Just a black
Having him,
screen for an hour.
having him drop dead for like an hour. It'd just be too funny.
You know, it'd be actually kind of funny instead of the black screen, like it just shows the subway run him over, and then you see like the police come in, and it's like a crime scene. But the camera is like stationary. It's just on his corpse. You just see like the forensic team, getting the blood trails and whatnot, the blood spatter.
You'd have to like put up the police line, stop the people from coming in to see the body. You have to shut down the train. You have to like scrape his body off the track.
Yeah,
You have
they
to
get
bring
like
it to the morgue. You have to like call Milo. Could you identify the body for us?
well, not even that. It's just stationary on his corpse on the train tracks. So you see them like pick his body up in a duffel bag, and then everything's just gone. And it's just on that location where his body was.
Yeah, that was so much better ending. But no, we have to get to suffer through.
No, there's a whole other hour left.
Very experimental. I would love to see that. Just
They can't lose any more money if they did that.
because at least there's the shock value, the wow, they actually did that. I need to go see that for myself in the theater. Like, wow, they did do that.
Then you're just sitting in a theater rest of the hour where nothing happens. That'd be the
See, they should
ultimate
hire us to
troll.
do stuff. We got much better ideas.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
off the cuff too.
yeah, Sony, hire us, please. We're a lot cheaper than the clowns that did this movie and Madam Web. Like, scraping the bottom of the barrel there. Let's talk about Craig. Oh, wait. Do you want to say something?
It's like bottom of the barrel. Like who? Like if you put me in charge, I would tell you I could save you millions of dollars. Don't make this movie. And they want to do a cinematic universe, but is not going to work. Like no one wants to see Spider-Man's C-list villains and supporting characters get their own movie.
Yeah, like, if they can't do it right with Venom, and obviously you can't do it right with Venom without Spider-Man, it's just like, why even bother?
Yeah.
Now you have Craven. Like, come on.
See, I was thinking about this too because I was obviously bored watching the movie, and I was thinking, is Star Wars to blame for this partially? I think obviously Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombing is a part of it, but also because Star Wars feels the need to tell like every single character's backstory and tell you every little thing that happens in their universe. Maybe so it's like, well, they released the Rogue One movie, and that was kind of successful. Maybe we could do a Morbius movie.
Uh,
Tell a story about Spider-Man's, vampire villain. What's his
At least
backstory?
with
Where's he
okay,
come from?
so at least with Spider-Man or not Spider-Man with Rogue One, like they didn't have that factor where they're missing the main piece. What I mean by that is that probably doesn't make any sense. But like the Spider-Man villain movies, they don't have Spider-Man, so that's already a huge thing against them. At least the Star Wars stuff, as unnecessary as it is, they have all the pieces to tell their unnecessary story. It'd be like
No,
doing
I
Rogue
agree,
One.
but like I wonder if they just take the wrong lessons as they always
Oh
do.
yeah, probably. It'd be like having Rogue One without the Empire in it because they legally can't or whatever.
Yeah, some other big company has like the rights to the Empire, so they only like vaguely reference it.
Yeah. Oh, I liked. Okay, so there's two things I want to mention. They mentioned Venom in passing, real quick, where they're like, "Yeah, it was like that thing in San Francisco a couple years ago, right?" And
Yeah.
let's talk about the post-credit scenes again.
Oh, you
What
missed another reference.
was that?
When right after Milo gets out of prison and he hilariously reveals that he took the serum or whatever, oh, he goes and re pulls a Daily Bugle paper just so you can
Oh,
see, hey,
did
it's the
he?
Daily Bugle.
I forgot about that. Also,
Yeah.
I had to replay it because I was like half paying attention when I think it's the first time Morbius says to somebody, "I am Venom." And I was like, "What?"
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
replayed
yeah.
that, and and I put caption on too because I was thinking maybe I misheard this. And it said, "I am Venom," and I'm thinking like, "What? I am Venom?" Like what? He didn't even say it like funny. Like remember in Deadpool 2 when he's fighting Cable in the prison and he's like, "I'm Batman." It wasn't
But
even like
also,
that. Like he was serious when he said, "I'm Venom."
yeah, and also, Deadpool's jokier character. Batman's known for I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Like I think he
And
said that at least
murdering
a few
people.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least multiple Batmans have said that where it's not just one take. This is just one character that no one even. Who even saw the first? I mean, I think actually, there I take that back. I think the first Venom did do well, but
It did.
I know nobody who's actually seen it, so I don't know how well it really did. But yeah, their poor attempt at a cinematic universe. Yeah, they bring in Vulture for some reason.
Well, yeah, the stupid end credit scenes and Sony was probably really on Marvel about, well, if this movie with the multiverse movie, what was it called? Oh yeah, No Way Home. They're like, well, you have to have this thing where different multiverses can intersect so that we can integrate ourselves into the MCU, or we can bring in Tom Holland at any point. So we already have Venom in the MCU, as we talked about in Madam Web, and now Michael Keaton, and they must have paid him a pretty penny to show up because I doubt he'd just do a cameo cheap. But he's now in the Sony Spider-Man universe, and he says like something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, of course. He says like we got to go after this guy named Spider-Man, or he said like I'm here because of Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
Morbius and nobody else knows who Spider-Man is. Nobody knows who. So he's probably. I'm surprised he didn't go like who? And then he says like we need to form a team, and then Morbius is like I'm listening.
Which it feels so disconnected from the movie, not just for the obvious reasons, but like you said, he has no idea who this person is. Why does he want to do a team up all of a sudden? I thought at the end of the movie he was like, I'm now a vampire. I gotta run off and be on my own. Now he wants to be in a team all of a sudden. Like,
Yeah, because again, Morbius, besides when he killed all those people in the boat, he didn't. Well, first off, he didn't have any control over himself, but he didn't really do anything bad in the movie itself. Like, if he's gonna be an anti-hero, you kind of have to have him get his hands dirty intentionally. I don't know. It's
yeah,
incredibly stupid.
but again, like, why is he gonna want to fight Spider-Man? And also, why is he blame? Like, why does Vulture all of a sudden blame Spider-Man? I thought they were on decent terms last time we checked.
I don't know. They're, by hook or by crook, Craig, they're gonna do that Sinister Six movie.
Oh, I know, and I don't understand the strong desire for it. You're just gonna waste your like hundreds of millions of dollars just to finally make your big bomb. Because at least the appeal before would be characters we've seen in movies that we kind of liked, or at least did better. Because I mean, they basically did that with what was it called? No Way Home, Far From
No Way
the
Home
one
was
with
the
Toby.
last one. Oh yeah,
You
knowing.
know, yeah, they basically fought the Sinister Six, but at least it was characters we've seen before and we kind of liked. I mean, people still like the Green Goblin, Doc Ock, sort of Sandman, no one else, but
Lizard.
at the very least, they kind of brought in characters people like to have that Sinister Six, right? So you think they'd kind of gotten the itch out, but they still want to do it.
They're probably jealous that Marvel did it better than them.
Well, why'd you give your rights away to Spider-Man? But also, they make money off it too, so I don't understand why they can't just, pat themselves on the back and give up on this wasted attempt.
I don't know, Craig. I don't know. If they're rational, they would stop doing this nonsense. Oh,
Well, I mean, they
apparently,
seem very
oh,
irrational.
apparently J.K. Simmons filmed a cameo, but his scenes were cut. So
I saw that too.
it probably would have just been him. Like Milo's walking by, let's say a restaurant, and he sees a TV, or he's in Times Square, and he sees Alex Jones on the big screen, probably trying to talk about Spider-Man.
And selling his male vitality supplements.
Yeah, whatever that was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say, Craig. This is again along lines of Madam Web, where I used up every adjective like desperate, pathetic, illogical, and that's all Sony just it feels like. That's what ugh, they're always desperate. They're uninspired. They just don't make good movies. They should just stop making movies. At least this Spider-Man universe, they should just stop.
Just to get revoke their like ability to make movies, like a child, like a parent scorning their child.
Yeah.
No more movies for you until you learn how to make a good one on your own.
Did we talk about real quick what's upcoming for the Spider-Man Sony universe?
Did we talk
I
about it
know there's
last time?
Craven. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's Craven
Oh, and
and
Venom 3. That's
Venom
right.
3. And I think we talked about other
Oh,
stuff they
we
have
did.
planned.
Yes, we did. Oh, they're gonna do
Yeah, El
Silver
Muerto,
Cable.
Hypno Hustler.
They're bringing back Roberto Orsi. I think it was Silk was one of them, right?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the Silk character?
Maybe you did last time. I don't remember.
So she has, I think, the exact same powers of Spider-Man because she was bit by the same spider as Spider-Man.
That's lame.
Yeah. But she's a Korean woman, so there
Oh,
you
okay.
go.
I mean, I don't know who Venom's gonna fight in Venom 3. I would not be surprised if it's another symbiote. What's the other symbiote that comes after Carnage that's stronger?
It's like I lose track because like after like Carnage and Venom, you lose track. I think it's like Sin or Toxin or something.
Are they gonna do like anti-venom? Maybe Matt Gargan gets the suit, and then Eddie gets cancer and he gets anti-venom.
I I don't know. I mean, there's so many dumb things that they're probably thinking. But then again, isn't the whole appeal of Venom that he's talking to the symbiote?
I guess I don't know.
Why would they give up the symbiote? Because I haven't seen the Venom movies, but there was like I think he's talking to the symbiote,
I
and the symbiote
saw
like
Venom
comes
2
back.
because it was like 90 minutes. Like actually, it is a very short movie. And I just yeah, 97 minutes. And I don't know where I was going with that. I just want to say I saw it because it was short. Short and forgettable. But yeah,
Well, you sat through it and didn't kill yourself, so pat yourself on the back.
I don't know who they're gonna do. I'd be surprised. I'm saying this right now. This is the last day in February as of this recording, Craig. If we ever come back to Venom 3, I'd be very surprised if it's not a symbiote. I'm
I'm
calling
just
it
gonna
right
put
now.
money down that it is a symbiote.
I think it is too, but I'll be very, 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 very shocked, and I mean that genuinely, if it's not a symbiote. I'll go see the movie if it's not a symbiote. How about that?
I'm not gonna. Well, you might make us go see it.
That's what I'm saying. I'll go see it if he doesn't fight another Carnage Riot knockoff. But we'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling these Venom movies are probably the best the Spider-Man Sony universe has to offer, which again isn't saying much at all. It's such a shameful thing to say.
Yes, very shameful.
But to go back to what we were originally talking about, because we went a little off the rails. Not really, but just talking about the larger picture. Morbius is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't think it was as terrible as its reputation says it is. It's still not good at all. It's better than Madam Web, and it was a huge waste of everyone's times. And that's all I really have to say.
I did want to say this because it's like that pop culture idea that a lot of bats drink blood. Most don't. I thought
Yeah.
people would have known this by now, but I guess not. I think like only one or two species of bats actually drink blood.
Craig, these are terrible screenwriters. What do they know?
Like I wonder where does this come from? Because in Dracula, I think he turns into a bat, but it's not because to drink blood, because he can transform into other stuff too.
Yeah.
I think like, he often transforms into a wolf. So I don't know where this idea that only bats drink blood, that's because of Dracula.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I want to tell you. What are your
Yeah, why
final
don't you know?
thoughts? I gave you my final thoughts. What do you think of Morbius?
It's boring. It's like what we were saying before, same thing with Madame Web. It's boring. It is the worst kind of bad, where it's not even funny to sit down and watch with friends. Like you're just gonna fall asleep watching it.
Yeah, I agree. Don't watch it. Maybe trick Sony again if you talk about it a lot. Maybe they'll re-release it and have it bomb a third time.
Could you imagine? No, they release that third time, but they release our cut, so it's actually gonna be successful.
No, no, they wouldn't do that.
Yes, but just imagine.
They only release bombs, not hits. Well, Craig, I think that's all we have. This has been the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. I'm Colin,
I'm Craig.
and we will see you next time.